This is going to be a quick video explaining why I stand in solidarity.
Hey, wait a minute now. You know the rules, Riley. You're supposed to show your face and say, hey everyone, and then I substitute a clip of a character freaking out. Here, let me fix this.
Hey everyone! This is going to be a quick video explaining why I stand in solidarity with the protesters across the US fighting for justice right now, and why you should too. There are no ads on this video because it should not be monetized, and the comment section is disabled because this is not up for discussion.
I'll be the judge of that.
On May 25th, a police officer kneeled on George Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes, ignoring Floyd crying out repeatedly that he could not breathe. 3 other officers stood and watched the murder happen, all because Floyd was accused of allegedly using a counterfeit $20 bill. That's it.
He was also resisting arrest. Twice. Once for getting out of his car, and then once for almost being put into a police cruiser.
While all 4 officers were fired the day after, the police officer who murdered Floyd wasn't charged with murder until days later following public backlash. And even then, he was only charged with 3rd-degree murder rather than 2nd or 1st degree.
I am so glad I am following Magog's idea.
This is why I wait. This is why I'm patient and I do my research and I listen to people from all sides. I like to get an idea of what the fuck is going on before I make a decision.
We later find out that the cop is now facing 2nd degree. They've upgraded his charge.
The other 3 officers, as I'm recording this video, have still not been charged with anything despite their complicity in the murder.
See, that's the problem, Riley. You jump into these things without giving it time to gather more information. And guess what? Those 3 cops, they're facing charges too. Aiding and abetting, so they're fucked.
On March 13th, 3 police officers raided Breonna Taylor's house in the middle of the night and shot her 8 times, killing her in her own home. Though they're still under investigation, none of the officers have had any charges brought against them yet. These are just 2 of the most recent events in a long history of police murdering innocent black people and facing minimal or 0 consequences.
Even though there are stats out there showing that white people are twice as much to get, messed up by the cops than black people are. I mean, have any of you ever heard of Tony Timpa from Dallas, Texas? He was white, and he was killed in the hands of the cops. Go ahead and look it up. I dare you. Just look it up. Because I know the mainstream media has never mentioned about this.
In the last few years alone, police have murdered Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray, Stephon Clark, and Philando Castile, among so many others, and none of their murderers were ever convicted.
Okay, let's see. Eric Garner. Guy got busted in New York for selling loose cigarettes, and he was resisting arrest, and the cop did a stupid thing to put him on a chokehold, which eventually killed him because of his obesity and heart complications. Michael Brown, the guy this gentle giant who robbed a convenience store, assaulted the store clerk, and then went up towards a cop, assaulted the cop, and tried to steal the cop's gun. Tamir Rice, the kid who had a toy gun but did something bad with the orange tip, whether he painted it or removed it, I don't know. And he was out in a neighborhood that's very known to be crime-ridden, just started pointing at random people and even pointing at a cop from a distance. And from a distance, I mean, the cop thought it was a real gun and took out the threat. Freddie Gray, I think he the one that got arrested and he was put in back of a patrol car or a truck and just started randomly, went ballistic, kind of like jumping around and just went crazy to the point that he kind of, I guess, killed himself from being so hyper and I guess gave himself a heart attack or something. Let's see, Stephon Clark, there was a 911 phone call about a truck being broken into, his windows busted, and, the guy who made the 911 call gave a description. Next thing you know, he was on the run, and instead of, seeing the cop and saying, hey, I didn't do it, or, go downtown and talk about it, he just ran away, and cops immediately thought, oh, there's our suspect, and shot him, okay? Philando Castile, that's the one who was pulled over by a cop, and he calmly told him that he was carrying, and, of course, the cop told him to, don't reach for it, and unfortunately, Castile did it, which was stupid on his part, and it was stupid for the cop on his part to take him out, too. I mean, there are other ways they could have done it, so that was dumb on both ends.
The protests happening now are about getting justice, but they're also about ensuring that these murders do not continue in the future. This is not an isolated incident and it can't be treated as such. Something major has to change. The system has always failed and continues to fail black people.
But yet we still don't hear anything about, the many white people that were killed by cops. I mean, why don't you mention them? You make it sound like that this is like a thing that happens to every single black person that deals with a fucking cop. No, it's not the case. We just saw a video of just one asshole doing something completely stupid. That does not mean that everyone else does it. Do you fucking get it?
If nothing changes, police will continue to murder black people with no consequences, and that is not a world any of us should want to live in.
Is that why people get jobs as cops? So they can go out and murder black people? Is that what they're doing, Riley? Are you really that fucking stupid? I think you are that fucking stupid!
We need to defund and disarm the police, and I will put further reading about what that future could look like in the description.
You know what? Fuck everything you put in your description. It's all crap. I already know what happens if you disarm or defund the fucking police. You're gonna get more people committing more crimes. This has already been proven over in, like, Baltimore. Didn't the mayor or something, like, say, you know, tell the police to, like, you know, back the fuck off? And next thing you know, crime has gone even higher. And there are civilians out there saying, where are the fucking cops? And the cops are like, leave us out of this. You didn't want us, and so you made your bed, now fucking sleep in it.
While these protests are happening, it is important to keep this in mind. Human life matters more than property. George Floyd cannot be brought back from the dead. Breonna Taylor cannot be brought back from the dead. If a Target or a Walmart is looted or vandalized, they will be fine. They will rebuild, they have insurance.
Morons! I'm surrounded by morons!
I am no expert in the field of business and insurance, and clearly you are not either, Riley. But here's some things that's been going through my head. Okay, a store gets looted and demolished because of these riots. Oh shit, what do we do now? Well, let me call my insurance, let's see if they'll cover it. And they say, yeah, we got you covered. Here's the money, go ahead and build up your store again. And they do. Later down the line, oh shit, our store just got looted and demolished again. Hey, insurance guy, can you help us out? It's like, okay, this is kind of annoying, but yeah, we'll help you out. And then here comes again, another looting and demolishing. And insurance is going to be like, you know what? This is getting ridiculous. I don't think we can cover you anymore because you're in an area that is just terrible when it comes to this situation. I mean, your store gets looted and demolished all the time. I don't know how much more we can help you with this stuff. You might as well just close up your shop and move somewhere else. This is clearly not a good neighborhood to you. And this particular store that is adored by many other residents in the area that, you know, rely on the store because it's convenient, the prices are right, and they like the store, now they're going to be out that store. And then they'll be like, well, now what do we do? I don't have enough money to buy the products in another store because they're higher. I like this store. And what about the people that make the products? I mean, they find out that the stores got hit, and they're like, yo, I see that our product has been stolen, so we're not getting any money out of this. What are we going to do? You think that these companies are just going to just brush us off and be like, well, that's okay, we're a multi-million-dollar company, we'll just remake these products and we'll give it to Target or Walmart or whatever other chain store that gets hit by these riots. You know, it's nothing, and we'll make that money. Think again, they're going to be like, this is fucking bullshit. Again, I'm not a business or insurance guy. I'm just giving you, like, just a simple general gist of it. If any of you out there are in the business, please leave a comment or, yeah, just leave a comment and get more specific about this because I'm really curious about this setup.
Things can always be replaced or repaired. Dead people cannot be brought back to life.
Yawn!
So it's totally fine to just go out in the street and just destroy anything and everything because you're pissed. Much like what happened in Richmond, Virginia, where protesters set a house ablaze. And the fire trucks came by and they were going to take out the fire, but of course the protesters blocked them. They had a hard time trying to get around the protesters to put out the fire, which I must remind you, inside the house, do you know what was inside that house? A fucking kid! They almost killed a kid in this fucking protest, and you think this is such a great idea? Go ahead and look it up if you don't believe me. Look up the conference of Fire Chief Will Smith talking about the incident. He basically broke out in fucking tears. Fuck those rioters. Fuck all this protest bullshit. And fuck you, Riley!
And in many cases, these protests are peaceful until police show up in military gear and start attacking protesters. I will link to videos in the description of police using unnecessary and excessive force on peaceful protesters across the US.
You'd rather show footage of that than the fucking rioters and protesters busting through stores, demolishing property, harming innocent people in the streets, whether they were on their side or not. Are you fucking...
The police have become so heavily militarized at this point that they are not seeking to de-escalate the situation, but instead to hurt protesters.
Who is doing the most damage in the cities, Riley? Who is fucking demolishing the cities, you fuck?
In many cases, they've even attacked journalists who are simply reporting on the situation, and I will link to videos of that as well.
Don't bother. I know what he's talking about. There was one CNN correspondent who was there on the scene, and he got arrested. And if you listen clearly to the footage, the cops basically told him they were warned before. Like, we told you to leave, you didn't leave, we're gonna have to arrest you. I mean, seriously, do what they say!
Ridiculously early curfews have been called in multiple cities, announced with very minimal time for anyone to react, further allowing the police to justify their use of violence against protesters.
Ridiculous?! How is it fucking ridiculous?! You know that most of these riots in the cities, they didn't just happen just one day and then they're done. It still kept going. That's why we have these fucking curfews.
The police response to these protests has only further proven that the police need to be defunded and disarmed.
Seriously, Riley, why do you like bad things? Why?
If you're white, like me, it is your duty now to talk to the white people in your life about what is happening. Talk to your parents, your relatives, your coworkers, your friends. Tell them about what is happening and why they need to support these protests. Now is not the time to be silent and avoid awkward conversations. Use your privilege to help the cause. Convince the people in your life that Black Lives Matter. To be silent is to be complicit. But also, do not speak over Black people. Listen to them, amplify them, support them.
No thank you. I'm not really interested in being a cuck.
In the description, I will link to organizations, bail funds, and GoFundMes that you can donate to. Please donate what you can. Black Lives Matter.
Oh, lovely! Bail funds! That is great. Yeah, okay, so a rioter, demolishes a store, he gets arrested, he goes to jail, and then you want to use your money to bail him out because Black Lives Matter or other stupid reasons. Only to let him, keep demolishing more stuff. That is really awesome of you, Riley. You're basically funding domestic terrorism!
With that, I'll leave you with this message from Martin Luther King III. No justice, no peace.
Actually, I got a better message.